And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here, and today we're taking a look at Love Letter Premium Edition. Now, Love Letter is a game that came out several years ago from AEG and Seiji, and was a game that only used 16 cards, very simple game. I remember playing it the first time and saying, let's play again, let's play again. It's a very quick, fast style game. They've made many different versions of it. They've done Classic Edition, a Batman Edition, an Adventure Time Edition. They're coming out with a Cthulhu Edition, Lovecraft Letter this year. But this one is kind of like the basic edition of Love Letter, but it's premium. Instead of normal size cards, we have tarot size cards. It comes with sleeves. It comes in a nice box here that has, it's a magnetic box that opens on the side like this with a nice, felty insert. Now, if you've never played Love Letter before, have no fear. I'm about to show you how to play it. If you have played before, though, this adds some more stuff. This allows you to go up to 8 players. Here's how. We should talk about components for the game. Each of the cards is a really giant, pretty thick cardboard card, and the game comes with sleeves, and these are really nice sleeves. You can see the shininess there in them, and it slides into these sleeves. It shows a love letter on the back. It's just that's not the back of the card. So you could play the game without the sleeves, but why would you? And the game even comes with extra sleeves in case you run out. So you're going to take a deck of cards. If you're playing with 4 or less players, you're going to shuffle this deck of cards. You're going to take one of these cards out of the game. No one's going to know what card you've taken out. Each person's going to be dealt a card. You're going to look at your card, and on your turn, you're going to draw another card from the deck. You're going to take a look at your 2 cards here. They're the same, but let's say they are different. Let's say I have maybe a 1 and a 4. You're going to discard one of those, playing the card, do the action on the card, and we keep going. At the end of a round, anybody who has not been knocked out of the round, and the round is over when you can't draw any more cards from the draw pile, then we will compare the numbers, and whoever has the highest number is the person who gets the letter to the princess. It could be the princess herself if you have number 8, and that person gets an affection token. The first person to get a certain number of tokens is the winner of the game, and that depends on the number of players. So for example, 2 players, it's 7 tokens. 4 players, it's 4 tokens. So what are these cards? By the way, you should notice that on the bottom here, it shows you how many cards of this are in the game. So this shows 5 guards. You'll notice there's 3 more symbols here. That's because if you're playing with 8 or more players, 5 or more players, you'll have 8 guards in the game. A guard, when you discard a guard, you pick someone else, guess a number that they have. If you're correct, they're out of the game. That's it. Lots of guards in the game, and there's 2 different pictures for the guards. A priest just lets you look at someone else's hand. The baron, you pick someone else's hand, you compare your number with their number, and the lower number is knocked out. Handmaiden basically protects you from what other people would do to you. The prince, you pick someone else, they have to discard their hand and draw a new card. The king, you trade hands with somebody else. The countess, if she's ever in your hand at the same time as the king or the princess, you have to discard her. She has no other special ability, but you might discard her just then people think you have the king or the princess. And the princess, she's the automatic winner at the end of a round. However, if you're forced to discard this card for any reason, you automatically are knocked out. So she's a dangerous card to hang on to. Now, if you play with 5 or more players, you will throw in a bunch more cards. You have the assassin. If the guard tries to get you and you're holding assassin, they're out of the round. You have the jester. You give someone else a jester token, and if they win the round, then you also get an affection token. We have some more guards. A cardinal, you can force 2 people to trade hands, and you look at one of them. The baroness, you can look at 1 or 2 people's hands. The sycophant, you pick someone else. If someone is going to choose someone else to do something to next round, they have to pick the person you chose. The count adds 1 to your number at the end of a round if he's on the top of your discard pile, so you have to discard him at the right time. The constable, if this guy's in your pile and you are knocked out of a round, which you can do if you get the princess in your hand, or or people will try not to knock you out of a round, you get a token. The dowager queen, you compare hands with somebody else. Whoever has the higher number is out of the round, so she's kind of the opposite of the count, I think, who was the one who the Well, one of the other cards. And then the bishop. Now, if you notice, the bishop's a 9. That's higher than even the princess. However, at the end of the game, the princess beats the bishop. So she beats the bishop. However, the bishop will beat anybody else. And you can name a number other than 1, pick another player. If they have that number, you get an affection token. And then they can discard their card and draw a new hand. So you will only add these cards in. Other than that, you still go for 4 affection tokens at the end of a round. There's a lot more cards involved in the game. When you go for somebody with the guard, it used to be you would name a role. Now you just name a number, because it's possible, for example, that there are multiple 3s or multiple different numbers of some of the cards in the game. That's how you play. Now, component-wise, this is amazing. The wooden affection tokens are really nice. The cards are big. It comes with a nice big reference guide. This shows you all the normal cards. This shows all the ones that are in the 5 to 8 player game, the cards and the sleeves and the box. This is a great production. If you're going to hang on to Love Letter, this is a good version. Unless, of course, you like the fact that Love Letter comes in a small bag that you can carry in your pocket. It is no longer pocket size. So that may actually make you want to buy the original version. But if you don't care about size, or you do want something nice, this is great. Wonderful in that way. Love Letter is a game that I like a lot, although my affection for it has dimmed over the years, mostly because I've played so many times and it's starting to be the same thing over and over again. So when this set came out, I was like, all right, let's breathe some life into this game. And so I'm a little disappointed. Now, I still like the game. I still like Love Letter, but I'm a little disappointed that I was like, wow, all these new rules. Ooh, I can't wait to use them. Oh, they only work in a 5 to 8 player game? That was a big disappointment for me, because I wanted to use this new stuff. But if I have less than 5 players, 4 or less players, I can't use any of the new roles. And honestly, Love Letter works best with 4 or less players. 5 to 8 players is okay. It's fun, but it's long. And this rule book is crazy when they say that you play to 4 affection tokens. I already thought playing to 4 affection tokens was a lot with 4 players anyway, right? Love Letter is one of those games where you play a couple rounds, you're like, all right, cool. You don't have to play through to completion. But the bigger problem that this has is with 8 players now, they tried to mitigate that, right? Because they have cards, the bishop and a couple other cards, the jester, you can get tokens other ways. So there's a possibility of 2 or 3 tokens being handed out per round amongst players. But that doesn't make the game faster each round. Each round is still going to be going around the table. And it's also longer between your turns, and you can be out. You know, in a 4-player game, you can be out. Someone plays a guard on you, picks your number, you're out. With an 8-player game, the chance of someone playing a guard on you is higher, and it's higher chance that you're out before you do anything in a particular round. Which is okay, because they're short rounds, but now they're double the length of each round. So you're out for a little bit longer. Essentially, I don't really want to play this with 8 ever. I would play with 5 just to use the new roles. So I wish there had been a way to put some of those roles and switch them in and out for a 4-player game. Now, the new roles are fun. I especially like the assassin. You thought you got me, guard? You're dead. I like the bishop. I like the jester, being able to say, I think this person's going to win. I like those ideas. I like a lot of the cards. And like I said, stunning production. If you want to play with 5 to 8 players, auto buy. If you want these beautiful big cards with the sleeves and a nice box, auto buy. If you love Love Letter and just want the best version of it possible, auto buy. But for everybody else, if you just want to play Love Letter and you really don't want to play more players, you're probably better off sticking with one of the smaller sets, because again, you can carry those in your pocket. So this is kind of going to be, which do you want? Some people probably won't have a problem with the big group of players. I know some people are probably sitting here and going, we really want more players for the game. Great, then you're really going to like this. Despite my disappointment, though, I still think Love Letter is an excellent game, and this is the nicest version there is. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.